Zombicide. I'm Greg.
And I'm Katie. Welcome to the Meeple Society. Today we are on episode 104, part 9 of the tease. But before we get started, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon if you want notification of future content.
And click the link below and find all of our social media.
Okay. Let's get started. What do we got?
13 games. We have almost the theme of being outside on a lot of it. Or traveling. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, okay.
They all begin with T.
Well, yeah, that would be indicated by part 9 of the tease.
So, we start off with an upside down box.
Oh my goodness.
Trails.
This one is extremely similar to Parks.
Extremely.
If you have, I don't even know that you need both, honestly. Just like Parks, you have all of your scenery tiles, your trail tiles, and you're laying these out. Now this is the difference though. In Parks, you only lay out so many, and then each round you keep adding one until you get to the maximum. With this one, so this lays out like so, and I think there's one, this is the end, and I want to say this, nope, that wasn't the beginning. This was the beginning.
Yep.
So what happens
I don't know if they can see that, but...
No, I don't know, hopefully. If not, I'll show some pictures. So what happens is your trail person, your little trail hiker, is starting up here on the trail. He's going down just like in Parks. You're going to any space you wish. Although I think the rule in this one is you can only go 1 or 2 spaces ahead. Mm-hmm. You can't just go as far as you want. But...
No, but I think there's a power or something that allowed you to go farther. The canteen. The canteen will let you take
the canteen...
It allowed you to go as far as you want, but you emptied it. So it was a one-time use until you got back to here where you would refill it up.
That's right. So you can go 1 or 2 spaces with the use of the canteen, which everybody has their little canteen marker in here somewhere. I want to say, oh, they're right here. Huh, they're in with the hikers. Everybody has their little canteen marker. And like you said, you can empty it out in order to go as far as you want ahead. But when you get to each location, there's a symbol down here at the bottom. You take that resource, or you take that action. You pay a resource to take a photograph. Let's see, there was...
Change out one for 2
That was the other one. You can change out 1 resource for 2 of something different. When you get down to the very end, this is where it changes a little bit. At the very top, there are... at the end and at the beginning, there are icons. You do those icons. You basically take care of that. That's called the sun action. So down at the bottom is what you do when you land on it. You do the sun action, and then you flip back. You start back. When you start back, the first space, the next one back, and actually, no, I take that back. You do the sun action, and then you flip over the next tile. So in this case, I would flip this tile over to the nighttime action. Now, mind you, during the daytime, you only find 1 acorn. At night, you find 2. I would think that'd be reversed, but okay. So...
And then there's the bear action.
There's the bear action. There's also this little wooden bear that moves around the board. When you do the bear action, you roll the die, you move the bear to that location, to that tile, and then you do that action. It's just kind of like a little freebie action when you land on the same tile as the bear. This one gives you a free bear action every time you get to the end. So you get to the end, you do the sun action, in this case that's the bear, and then you flip over the next tile in line to be flipped over. Every time somebody gets to this tile, that happens. So every time somebody gets to this tile, the next tile in line is flipping over. And the game ends when the last one gets flipped over. And I think, yeah, when the last person gets here and flips the last tile over, that triggers the end of the game. There's resource management. That's
for 4 players.
Different player counts, yeah. So there's even 2 sides to this guy, and to each one of these based on player count. And then the sun, because the sun moves. There's a sun token. The sun action is to move it back. So you're collecting all these resources in order to buy cards. Now, there are goal cards set up at the front and the back. And when you get to each location, you can purchase a goal card if you have the resources to do it. So for example, the goal cards maybe down here are these two. It's a flashlight and a photography. For the flashlight, I need 2 stones and an acorn. If I have 2 stones and an acorn in the supplies I have collected along the path, I can pick this up. This gives me 2 points at the end of the game. It gives me a bear action right now, and it gives me a bird. Birds are a majority count by the end of the game. You look at all your photographs and all of your goal cards and you count up the birds, whoever has the most. I want to say it was 2 points. Nope, it's 4 points. This one is 3 leaves and 2 acorns, but it allows me to do a photograph action, and it gives me 4 points at the end of the game. So there's 2 set up at each end. And when you get to each end, when you get to either the trailhead or the trail end, you can buy these if you have the resources to do it. You also have one private in front of you. When you finish it, you take a new one. So you've constantly got one that nobody else can work on but you. I like it.
Don't recall.
I mean, I like parks too, but I feel like this one, like I said, it's a little bit smaller. So it travels a little easier. And it's not complicated at all, and I like that. Anyway, that is Trails. A nice little easy to pack away and take with you game. I like it.
Yeah, this one plays a lot easier, I think, than
I think so
Parks.
too. I'd have to play them back to back, but I know they are extremely similar, and we haven't played Parks in a few months. And Parks, I mean, I like Parks. It's never been one of my favorites, but I feel like, I don't know, this one just seems more accessible.
This one's a lot easier.
Yeah.
A lot easier, and probably a lot easier to teach to people that aren't gamers. It's a way to get them into
the bigger
park game.
It's the baby version of Parks. You're just doing the trail, not the whole park.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're keeping it. All right.
Next we have Toot and Otto. Simply strategy game.
This is Connect 4 with letters.
Two letters.
With 2 letters, a T and an O. So what happens, you set the board up like so. Each player plays the piece that they're on. And one by one, you are putting in these letters in order to try to spell out your name, Toot or Otto. So Otto goes first, drops a letter. Toot goes first, drops a letter. Maybe Otto doesn't want to do that. Well, if I go here, I'd be losing the game because I would automatically give it to him. But I don't want to go, I could go there. He's not going to drop a T there. But gosh, if he did, then I win the game. But that's not going to happen. So yeah, you're constantly.
You're trying to spell out.
You're trying to spell the word. That's it. It actually had a lot more strategy than I thought it would.
For a game for ages 4 to 8, yes.
Yeah, it really did. I did end up losing this one because there was nothing I could do when it got down to that point. But at the same time, it's not one we're going to hold on to. It's a cute little game.
It's great. It's a cool game to play with a 8 to 4-year-old.
Yeah. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, that pretty much explains the whole game. You're spelling out the names. That's it. Or try not to spell Toto over and over and over again. I don't know. But all right. Anyway, we're going to let this one go. It's just not something we're ever going to pull off the shelf. No. So, but yeah. Toot and Otto. I was not sure what I was going to say, but that was not what it is. All right. Anyway, Toot and Otto, we are going to let this one go.
Next we have Totem.
I like the concept of this game.
And the big chunky pieces in the game.
I love the big chunky pieces.
But I don't feel like it's a game.
There's a game in it, but I don't like the game. I wanted to like this game, but I don't. All right, so here's the board. Just
looks like it has a bunch of bottle caps on it. But
basically, just a series of various
symbols.
Yeah. Symbols and colors. So this comes with these enormous chunky pieces, and these things they're just balsa wood, it feels like. They're super lightweight. But everybody starts, well, the blue's over here, so we'll just go right there. Everybody starts on your 4 circles on the board. So, like, see, here's all the greens and then reds and yellows, etc. Okay, so everybody starts on your 4 circles. The only pieces in the game, besides your player pieces, are these 4 panels. These panels each depict one of the colors and symbols.
Yeah, one starts face up.
So you randomly put one face up. Now, here's the trick. Your piece can move as far as you want in any direction until you do one of 2 things. You hit this symbol, in which case you cannot touch this symbol, or you hit another player piece. And you can't obviously knock them out of the way, much as you might want to. So in this case, like this guy here, he can't
move, period.
He can't move, period, because there's a blue right in front of him.
And the pieces beside him. Even
right.
If pieces
so
weren't
he's
beside
stuck.
him, he still can't move because they're both blue.
Gosh, they are. Yeah, he's pretty much stuck until this piece changes. So when you get to one of these black spots like this, you can pick a different piece. You flip this one back over. You choose the one that you flip that is now in play. So maybe I'm going to do this. And it's going to be hard to see this. I'm going to push these guys off the board. So I'm going to take this guy and I can move him to here. And then maybe next turn I'm going to move him to here. And then my next turn I'll move him to here. And then maybe to there. Okay, well now I'm going to flip it to a green because I just landed on a black spot. So I'm going to flip it to a green so that on my next turn I can move to there. And I'm done. Because otherwise I couldn't get into that spot. It's a blue. The goal is to get all of your pieces across the board into somewhere in this row on the opposite side. Doesn't have to be in the 4 middle. Anywhere in that row on the opposite side of the board. First person to do that wins the game. It's that simple.
Yeah, and that's it.
And it sounds simple. And it is simple.
Yeah.
It can be very frustrating when the color you can't get to a black piece to change the color. At one point I was literally trapped. I couldn't move more than a space in any direction. Yeah. And it got very frustrating. I think you had 3 in already, and I only had 1. I want to like this game. It's an abstract strategy. I love the totem theme of it. It's leaving the collection. Because, we've played it a couple times now, and I can't. Mm-hmm.
Not for us.
Not for us. There you go.
Maybe for somebody else.
It is a very light game.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it does have its audience. It's a neat abstract strategy. I love the pieces. Mm-hmm. Like I said, it's just not for us. So yeah, this one's leaving the collection. All right.
I do have to admit, okay, so this is Tokyo Highway. Yes, the box is in bad shape because this is a rescue, as we called it.
Yes.
I rescued this out of a dumpster on a job site.
Yeah.
They were throwing it away. It was in the basement. I was like, oh, if they don't want these games, I'll take them. And the next day I came in, they were in the dumpster, and it was raining that day. That's the reason why the
poor box is
in bad shape. But this is also the 2-player version of the game, which I don't think they make anymore.
I don't think so.
I think it's all 4-player, which I cannot imagine playing this 4-player. But it would give you more highways to get across. But
it would give you a lot more highways to get across.
Let's open it up to talk about it.
So how this works. So everybody has 10 cars. Everybody gets 15 highway pieces. And everybody gets 30 pillars. On your turn, you are connecting another length to your highway. So everybody starts with 1 highway out. Your on-ramp, basically. You get an on-ramp onto the highway, and that's it. And they have to start so far apart, you can't start them too far. So they go like so. I guess I could have just used this one, but anyway. On your turn, you have a couple of choices. You can go up or go down. Your highway elevation has to change by 1 every single time you go, with one exception. So I could do this number. I can go up by 1. In this case, I can't really go, I guess I could go down by 1, but there wouldn't be much point in it because then I'd have nowhere to build off of. You have to build off of your most recent spot. So in this case, I would have to build, the next time I build is off of here. And you have to continue building, either going again up or down. So I could go up. Whoop. That's not going to work. Can I go over you? Show an example already? Aha. The idea is, yes, there we go. The idea is you want to cross your opponent's highways. And the highways are marked with the cars. And if you do, then you can add a car. Now they give you these little tweezers to add them with if you wish. And sometimes that works when you have to get into a tight area. Or you have unsteady hands, which there are times. Once you get a highway set, you're not supposed to touch it again. If you knock over your highway, no penalty. You just got to fix it all. If you knock over somebody else's, though, well, now you got to pay them. And you pay them in pillar pieces. There are also yellow pillars. The yellow pillars are called connections. With a connection, I can stay on the same level. I don't have to go up or down one. Or I can drop. I can go more than one. I can go up to 5 or down to 1. Well, in this case, I couldn't really go down to 1 because you can't have just the yellow pillar by itself. It has to have a gray under it. But I could, therefore, stay up high. So maybe Greg did this on his move and came over to here. I know, why would you do that?
Why would I do that?
Because you're trying to go over this way next time. Because you can't get over, well, no, but your second turn.
Oh.
This is only your second turn. So then
Actually,
on his
that's my
third
first turn. But...
First turn, you're right. So then on his third turn, he's going to try and come over this way. So now he's going to do this. But he could, he doesn't even need to use the yellow, but you get the idea. Maybe on this one, so he does this number, and he can place a blue car out. Well, now, because he's done this connection, he can now branch off of this. He can go this way and he can go this way. He can do whatever he wants with it because he can connect off of it twice. It gives him a little more, a little better advantage in trying to plan out where you're going. The trick is, in order to put a car on your highway, you have to be going over one of your opponent's, over or under one of your opponent's highways. The game ends when one player gets all 10 cars onto the highway, or when one person is out of building materials. Yeah, when you run out of your pillars, and that's what you're going to run out of first. I think it's a neat dexterity game. You do not like, although you won this last one.
I won the last one.
Only because I knocked over something and had to give you like 4 pillars.
Yeah.
I knocked over a bunch of stuff, and therefore I ran out of building materials, but on that very turn, because when you run out of building materials, your opponent takes one final turn. He won on that turn with 10 cars.
Yeah.
He not won at that point, it would have come back to me. I couldn't do anything.
I still would have won.
He still would have won because I was out of building materials. So either way, he won. I like it. I think it looks really cool on the table.
It does look cool.
But
me and dexterity games don't get along.
We have only played this a couple times because of the fact it is teeny tiny pieces and dexterity and all teeny tiny cars anyway.
Yes.
We're going to let this one go. I feel like there are people out there that will absolutely love this game. So we're going to let this go, and hopefully it will see some more love someplace else and not just sit on our shelf unused. Because I don't think it's ever going to come off our shelf again.
Not if I can help it.
Tokyo Highway. Like I said, it looks cool on the table, especially when you get everything built. But it is going to leave the collection. So, yeah. All right.
Next we have Town Builder Coevorden.
Yeah, we'll go with
that word.
Is that how we're cheating now? Just show the word? Okay.
You pronounce it however you wish.
There you go. All right, so this is just a little bitty card game that in a box, I admit, is way too big, but this box includes a very nice play mat, so therefore I will allow it. But if it was just cards, God, yes, this box is way too big. So, gorgeous little play mat. You don't really need it, but, you know, it is what it is. With this game, you are trying to build out your town by getting cards built in front of you. And the cards offer They all come from different classes. There's military, there's social, there's commerce, there's housing, and there's culture. I think that's all 5 of them. So there's different classes on each one, different styles of building. Each one has a building cost up in the corner. Each one also has a material down here that it can be used, it can alternatively be used as. So these are multi-use cards. And then everyone has, well, most of them, I should say, a good chunk of them have some sort of ability you get when you build it.
Yes.
So the way this runs, you've got a whole stack of cards here. You've got all these cards laid out, and yep, there you go. This is really all you're using the mat for. That's it. There is this card here that tells you, based on player count, how many times you go through the deck before the game is over. Because in a 4-player game, you're going to go through this deck really fast. So therefore, you go through the deck 3 times in a 4-player game. In a 3-player game, you go through it twice, and in a 2-player game, you only go through the deck once, and the game is over. So it doesn't outstay.
That
its
reminds
welcome.
you how many times you do. Once you go through it, you turn it on the card, and
So like right now, I'm putting it on the 1. It sticks down under here, so I know this is the first time through the deck. In a multiplayer game, that would be important. Everybody gets their 1-star ability. You start. This actually also has your player aids on the back of it, but each turn you can make use of 1-star abilities. Some of these cards have star abilities on them, and therefore you have to make a choice. This particular one says that I can move foundations.
Well, they all start off with that.
Right. Everybody starts with this one. This particular star ability, I should say,
Correct.
says I can move resources between foundations. I'll come back to that. There are judges. And the game starts with 2 judges out, so you know what people are looking for. This is worth 2 points at the end of the game. And then there are, depending on player count, a couple of judges laced into the deck that come out later in the game.
Yes.
And then there are goals, and these change out. There's a bunch of them. There's only ever 2 or 3 out during a game, but it tells you, again, what some of the judges are looking for to get you extra points at the end of the game. Like this one wants 3 buildings with the same building type. So 3 socials, 3 military, whatever. This one, you're just the first person to 4 buildings. The 3 buildings with different building types. That, all that kind of stuff. So anyway.
And this is one of those with those that if somebody reaches that goal on that round, everybody has that round to be able to reach it. If they don't, they can never get that one again.
Exactly.
And then that person just takes it. If more than one person gets it, somebody will get that card, another person will get a card.
That's why it has this on the back of it, because you just flip it over and it shows that you've got the 2 points, even though you don't have the physical card anymore. All right, so what you're trying to do with this one is to build your town. You start off with pulling cards from the market here. Each card, like I said, can be used for a number of things. You have this guy out, and this collects your coins. This is your coin storage. Some of these cards can be used for a coin. Some of them have dual stuff on the bottom. You have to pick which one you're going to use it for, and you have to determine that now. If you're going to save this for the coin, you store it underneath your storage house like so, and that depicts this as coins. They're both, well, they both say storage on top, but fine.
But this has your power on the side.
I know. This is the player aid on the other side. So you store it underneath your coin storage. And this depicts it's a coin. You need coins because some of these require a coin in order to even pick it up and start the foundation. Now, when I pick this up, I'm going to start the foundation for this one. I would lay it in front of me sideways. I would pay the coin. This just goes to the discard pile. But now, in order to actually build this building, I also have to have a brick or a stone.
Look,
You
there's
get
a stone there.
There is. You get to pick up 2 cards on your turn. Well, this is my 2 cards, so I can't do anything else. So this is sitting here sideways, not built, with my storage house next to it. On my next turn, we put out more cards. Greg goes. I'm lucky in that he left the stone for me. So on my next turn, I take this stone. I declare that I am building this like so. I turn this upright, do the power, discard my stone, and I'm done. And this tells me when I first build it, I get to secretly look at the unused judges. You may add a judge face up. So all those judges that we looked at earlier, I get to look through all the ones that were not seated into the deck. I get to pick one and add it up here to the top for everybody to use. So there are multiple different symbols on the cards. You got ones that are used immediately, which are the hammers. They indicate when they're built. You do that action. There are ones that are good at the end of the game. They're end game scoring. That's the little crowns here. And then there are more of the star actions. Again, you can do 1 star action per turn. That's it. So I can't do all of my star actions. But this one is I can spend I can spend 1 coin to take an extra action. Like I said, game ends when you go through the deck for the first time. Well, with 2 players, you go through the deck so many times based on player count. Then you count up points. You're counting up the points up here in the corner. Those are your victory points. You count up any of your end game scoring stuff.
Make sure you get some.
Right?
One
any of the judges that you won over or any of the other prizes you won, you count those up too. Those points wins. It's just a nice little light card game. Like I said, I agree the box is way too big, but I like the player mat. So
well, if you look at it though, the way it is, because of the player mat,
it's exactly
it's perfect. Except for these slots like you said, need to be a little bit
slots
wider
need to
because this version gave us the
sleeves
for it.
but the sleeves don't fit properly. You got to kind of cram them down
tight.
in there. So, but I like it. We actually played this for the first time at Gen Con a few years ago.
Because there was a guy sitting there with the deck, the basic deck, and he's like, "You guys want to play a card game?" We weren't doing anything else. Was like, "Sure."
We were just walking through, So we sat down and played it. Really liked it, and then ran into First Fish Games.
And then seen the deluxe version of it, and he's like, oh, "Well, we have to have the deluxe version."
Yep. Perfect example of, spur of the moment purchases.
or when you have demo people out demoing.
Yeah, they're just he was just out there waiting. I think he had like an hour till his next game or something like that, and he was just shuffling his cards, and so it was great, perfect. Anyway, we're gonna hold on to it. I like it. All right.
Next we have a Martin Wallace game. That's not as known as most of his.
This is an older one.
Yes.
Mayfair 2008 is what it says on the back of the box. So the way this one plays, and like I said, we've had this one for a long time, probably since, not since 2008, 13, 14,
no, 13,
15,
something
like that. Yeah. I think we got this when we were working for Mayfair. It was probably off, if I'm not mistaken, it was probably off the clearance shelf at Mayfair. A very good possibility.
Possibly.
All right, so here's your board. The board is a trail starting down here. A trail that goes all the way up to the palace where you're trying to sell the emperor, you're trying to gift the emperor swords that you're making. And you are spending your time trying to make these swords with steel and jewels to gift to the emperor, to appease him. Every player gets a stack of cards, a stack of shops. And on your turn, you can do one of 3 things. You can lay cards to move, and I'll explain that in a minute. You can lay cards to move and do the action on the card that you've landed on, or you can lay out a shop somewhere along the path. Now, the shops on the path, there's a few that come built in. There's a couple here where you can pick up new cards, and then there's one here where you can buy artwork from the artisans. But the rest of them allow you to pick up steel to add to your swords, or to pick up gems to add to your sword. That's a steal. You can pick up some training materials in case you get into a duel. You have a better chance of winning the duels. Yes. Or you can actually craft your sword. You go to the blacksmith and have your sword, all of your materials crafted into a sword. And that's when you give them what you got and you take one of these. And then the others are all duplicates. Each one comes with either 1 spot available or 2 spots available. The spots are for your workers. So as you are progressing, when it's your turn, you're playing cards, and that is really where the strategy comes into this game.
Yes, how you're going to play your cards.
The cards come with a number of just numbers on them.
1 to 6.
1 to 6. You're using your cards for a couple of different things. You can move with them, or you can pay your bill with them, or you can duel with them. Either way. So when you are progressing up the stack, so maybe I put this guy here. Somebody put that. Well, let's use a different one. Let's put the gem there. Okay. So when you're progressing up the track, and maybe I'm right there. the numbers indicate how far you can move. So
You
maybe
have to move that.
You have to move this. You cannot move more, you cannot move less, you have to move exactly that. So I would move 1. I would discard 1 card out of my hand to draw 3 more cards off the top of the deck. This is one of the only ways to get cards. Oh,
Yes.
that was the third option you had on your turn. You can draw 2 cards. I forgot. I knew there was a third option. I couldn't remember what it was because we hardly ever did it.
No, we didn't.
So you move up the track, do what the action says. In order to move again, I have to play another 1. I can play 6 ones and move 6 times and do the action if I want to. I have to have the cards to do it though, so I don't think I'd be moving 6. Well, you could. You can have a hand bigger than 6. You just got to draw cards. So I have another 1. So I'm going to go again. So I would move over to here. And, well, I'm playing green. This is my area. I don't have to pay myself to do it. I would just take a gem out of the supply and put it in front of me. I've bought a gem. However, if the yellow player now suddenly came up here and took the other spot, he has to pay me, as the green player, 3 coins. On the bottom row, you have to pay them 1. On the middle row, it's 3 or better, 3 or better, 1 or better. And on the top row leading up to the palace, it's 5 or better. Well, I have to pay 3 or better. I only have a 2 and a 5 and some more 1s. I could give up my 5 if I want to keep my 1s and keep moving because I have 2 more 1s in my hand. Or I can give him these 2 and settle my bill. Depends on what my plans are. If there's a couple of really good movements here, maybe I want to keep moving. But maybe not. So I'm going to pay the green player as the yellow player. The green player would, I'm sorry, as the yellow player, he would pay the green player $3. Get his goal, get his gem, and move on. If he can keep moving, he can keep going. Depends on what's left in his hand. There is some extra abilities up here. There's some tiles you can buy for duels. The cards also have dual symbols down here on the bottom. You have ways of picking those up using these tokens.
So if you were there.
Yep, if you were there.
And yellow wanted that spot, now
Yes,
it's a duel.
Now it's a duel. If somebody had, so what happens, you draw off the top of the deck. You draw the next card, and all you're looking at now is this dual symbol on the bottom. If somebody had the purple token, if only one of the 2 players had the purple token, that player wins instantly. Well, no, that player wins one match. You win that match. It's a
Best
2
of
out of
3.
3, yeah. However, if neither of them had it, now you look at the symbols at the bottom. The one that's highlighted, in this case, the defender would win this match. Then you pull another card. Oh, now it's a generic. You can use, or no, it's the yellow.
Neutral. No,
it's a
that's
neutral.
a neutral.
It's a neutral, so you can't use any of these
Right.
tokens. Again, the defender wins. Well, that's best 2 out of 3.
Yeah.
So the defender wins this. What would happen now is whoever the attacker was would go all the way back to the cathedral at the start of the path. And that's the 4th action you can do on your turn. You can move somebody back to the cathedral. Sometimes you have to, because you get all your guys up here and there's nothing left you can do. You got to go back to the beginning and start again to get those materials you need in order to build the sword.
Sword's built. Yep.
The first player to attain 3 swords triggers the end of the game, and at that point,
You count up
you
how
count up
much your
points.
swords are worth.
Yeah, you count up how much your swords are worth, what your artwork is worth if you purchased any artwork, and then the player with the highest total wins. Simple as that. It's an interesting game. I had forgotten how much. I mean, I feel like we've played this one a few times throughout since we've owned it. But what, it was 18 the last time we played this?
Something like that.
Something like that.
It does have that action that you can't get into the castle to present your sword to the king without an exact.
Yes, you have to have that exact card movement and it's a two option.
Yeah, there's 2 spots
There's 2 spaces. And once you get there and you present your sword to the king, then that player piece comes off.
Yeah, it just sits with the tile, so you know your sword.
You take the sword off, you put it above the table, you put your player piece on that sword, and that player is permanently at the cathedral, at the palace. He doesn't come back. Take that as you may. I mean, for whatever you want to do it.
It was that time period.
It was. So slowly your workforce dwindles, but that's okay. You start with 6 of them. So losing 1 isn't that big of a deal. Like I said, first player with 3 swords sold triggers the end of the game. We talked a little bit about whether we're going to keep this one. And I think right now, I don't know. I feel like this is one of those that we'll never find again if we ever decide we want it back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the last time we played it was 2018.
It'd be a good one for the classic video thing that we're going to do.
That's a good idea.
Classic game night.
Okay, we'll hold on to it at least for that. Then we'll see what happens. But yeah, all right. So anyway, Toledo, for the moment, it's going to stick around. All right.
Next is Trailblazers Deluxe. This is the Ryan Courtney version of Trailblazers.
Yes. Not to be confused with the other 2 coming up later. So, how this plays. I love this game.
This is the Kickstarter version.
This is the Kickstarter version, so it came with the little travel pack, which I love. You can take this. This is really all you need for the game. You don't need anything.
Yeah, you don't need the animals or anything.
No. So it does come. Oh, there's a biker in here too. How did the biker get into the animals? So it comes with a couple of modules. One of the modules being all these neat little meeples. And of course, I'm going to put a black one right on top of the black mat so you can't see here. Well,
how about you
put the eagle? Well, I was going to pull all of them out. There's the little panther or the jaguar and the deer.
That's a moose.
That's a moose. And the buffalo.
You lived in Alaska and you couldn't tell that was a moose.
I grabbed it and just saw the antlers. I didn't really look at it that hard. And then, of course, the black bear.
And the wolf.
And the wolf. I think that's all 6.
I think so.
I think that's all 6.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Okay, so how this plays. This is a drafting game. This plays up to 8. With 4 or less players, you take 1 deck of cards and you shuffle them up. Each player also gets 1 of each camp. You get a hiking camp, a biking camp, and a kayaking camp. At the start of the game, you put 1 of these camps out. You can look at your cards first to see which one you want to put out, but you put 1 of your cards out. There are also, next to the game board, a series of
in-game rules.
Mid-game and end-game. There's 2 different types.
Oh, that's right.
And I think
in-game.
These are in-game, and these are end-game. Say that 5 times fast. In-game, as soon as you reach it, everybody has one of these little, a card with a design on it. And this is mine. As soon as I reach it, as soon as I finish this goal, I would put my card over the 6, and that shows I get 6 points at the end of the game.
If you were the first one there.
If I was the first one there. The next player would put 3, and then the third player would put 1. Only the first 3 players get this.
And this plays up to 8.
This plays up to 8, right. So that's what the cards are for. So the heart of the game. You take, let's do this. You get you get 8 cards. 8 of these little path cards. Every player gets 8 path cards. And you're looking at all of your cards and deciding which ones you want. You've got to connect them up. And then you're picking 2, you're passing the rest on. So maybe I'm going to take these 2 cards, and I would have to set this up in some fashion next to my board. Paths do not have to connect perfectly, but it helps you out if they do. So now I've got, the next player would take their 2, put them out, and then pass me the last 6. I would look at these cards again, and these are not good for what I'm doing at all. There is only 1 orange path, or no, I'm actually looking for brown paths. Never mind. These are great because there's a lot of brown paths in here. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to just start building onto, I don't like that though. That kind of takes me out in nowheresville. But I'm going to just keep building my path and trying to make paths in and out of my base camp. You get points at the end of the game for all of the connections on your path. So, and all the connections being these little halfway marks on the paths. This plays in 4 rounds. So you're going to end up with 6 cards from each round, so 24 cards overall. You can overlap cards. Maybe I decided I don't like that and I want to do, I don't know why I would do that, but maybe I decide I want to do this instead. I can overlap my cards and do something completely different if something doesn't work for what I'm trying to do. I can overlap. So you played out 6 cards, so you're going to see 3 hands each round. The last 2 cards are discarded. Nobody ever gets them. There are different modules where, as you're progressing down the path, you can add animals to your paths, and you score points for every unique animal on an individual path. There are ways you can add little kayakers, hikers, and bikers to the paths.
I was giving you
They
those
have-
had the animals on it for you.
Oh,
to
I'm
show 'em,
sorry.
but okay.
I can show some pictures, but yeah, they do have, like, this guy has that little black bear on it. And this guy has the eagle on it, or the hawk. I guess that's supposed to be an eagle. That type of thing. So anyway, you put those on there. But the only stipulation is, once you put an animal onto a card, that card cannot be covered anymore. You cannot change that path whatsoever. I actually did play this one solo. One night you went for the Super Bowl party.
Yep.
And I stayed home and was watching some television and broke this out on the card table and played it solo, and it plays identical. You take 8 cards, you choose 2, you set the rest aside. The next round you only draw 6. It simulates somebody before you having taken 2 of the cards out of the stack. So you draw 6 cards, you take 2, you set the rest aside. Then you draw 4, you take 2, set the last 2 aside. Round 1 is over. And you keep doing that for 4 rounds. It plays identical to a regular game, and there is a somewhere in here a solo. Oh, it's right there. There's a solo. No, it's actually in here. There's a solo card that says, "Here are your challenges. How many can you beat?" type of thing. And the first one is to, like, make more than 30 points, 40 points, or 50 points. And then that's the tenderfoot. And then you can move on to some of the harder challenges after you beat those. I got 46 on my first try, so I didn't quite beat the tenderfoot level, but I got close. Not too bad. I have always loved this game. It is so thinky, but I've always loved this game. So anyway, that is Trailblazers. We're going to hold on to it. I like the fact it plays 8 players, and it's a good thinky game.
Yeah, and
We've never played it that high, but
this is a game that a lot of people ask, well, what's a game we can play outside and not have to worry about? This one, the cards are almost like a PVC, a very, very thin PVC
they are.
material.
They're a plastic. They're not plastic coated. They are a plastic card.
Yeah. So you don't have to really worry about it getting wet.
Right, and I love the fact that, like I said, it comes in this
with
little
this little trail
case.
case.
Yeah, it comes with this little case. You can just take it with you. Now, mind you, this case is not light.
No.
But I like it. If you're only
If you only want to play the base game, there you go.
You
Or
take
solo.
half the cards out, you throw some animals in, you're good. You know, so yeah, I like it. We're gonna hold on to this guy. I would love to play this at a full player count of 8 someday,
Jeez.
but you're gonna need a big table for it.
Yes, you will. A really big table.
Yeah, they are. Actually, it is PVC. It says it right there. 339 PVC cards. There you go. We're going to hold on to it.
You thought I was lying.
I did not think you were lying. I thought you were making it up.
See what I have to put up with.
Whatever.
Next, we have Tour Operator.
Okay. Tour Operator. All right, so it doesn't have a set board. It has a series of cards made up, or it has a grid made up of city cards. Put it that way. And each city card has various icons all over it. It has icons for the type of things available in that city. So, for example, Barcelona, you can get a little bit of nature out there, but you're not going to get a lot. You get some nightlife, some culture, and some shopping. Shopping being the best option in Barcelona. I would have thought it'd be culture, but okay. Down here are some other icons that are used for, I don't want to say a set collection, but I'll come back to it.
For more points.
Yeah.
You collect them to get finished off with an area to
Right.
get points.
So you have your grid of cards, and it starts off with, again, depending on player count, all these cards laid out. So we have Barcelona and Rio de Janeiro and
Cusco, and
Beijing, Athens, Angkor? I'm not sure where that one's at. I'd have to look that one up. San Francisco, Cartagena, Paris, New York, that's got to be like Norway or something. I'm not sure. Again, I don't think we've ever played with that one. Cape Town, etc., Rotterdam, Vancouver, Cairo, Bangkok, all cities all over the world. Your grid is much bigger than this, but that's the most I'm going to put out for this one. So on your turn, you are trying to get your passengers to a city that will excite the majority of the passengers you have.
Basically score as many points as you can.
Yes, exactly. So everybody has their player board, and their player board consists of 2 pieces. Yeah, perfect. And then you have the overall scoreboard, which keeps track of your scores. It also keeps track of, this is that set collection type of thing I was talking about. So when you go to a city, and I'll cover this first so I can put this board away. When you go to a city, you have these different icons at the bottom. You can choose one of them and cover one of those icons here on the board. But you put one of your little tokens over the symbol that matches whatever city you just went to.
And you only get, if it has multiples, you only
get one, right. And then if you can fill up the whole line, you by yourself can fill up the whole line, you get extra points. So you can kind of play a blocking game here too and block other people from getting the points, but if you do that, you're not getting points either.
No.
So there's that as one aspect of the game. This makes up your player board. You're collecting so many passengers and trying to decide which passengers are going to go where. You have room for 4 passengers to lay down here on the bottom. You take cards equal to the number of open slots you have.
Minus 1.
Plus one.
Plus 1. Yeah, that's right.
So I think you start the game with 5. You have to fill in 4 on the first of them, but there's only 3 seats on the plane. So one of these guys is not going to be able to go.
It's a little plane.
It's a small plane. There's only 3 open seats. Let's put it that way. So when you're doing this, you're looking at a couple things. You're looking at where your plane is on the board. He's going straight
You start the game
up.
off the board, though.
Yes, you do start the game off the board. But you still have to look at your passengers and decide where you want to start. Well, all 4 of these passengers I grabbed like the nightlife. So I want to start someplace where the nightlife is really good. Rio de Janeiro, the nightlife is 5 points. I'm going to start near Rio. So I'm going to start right here, and everybody chooses their start locations. Then I put these 4 passengers, or 4 of my 5, out here in the waiting line at the travel agency.
In the terminal.
Oh, I guess that is the terminal, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
So you're out here in the terminal waiting to board the plane. 3 of them get to board. So now what you have to look at is on the bottom, there are little icons here that say, this guy wants first class. You can see the little icon on the very bottom, the seat icon down here. The others don't care.
One available.
There's only 1 first class seat available, so perfect. I will throw this guy into first class. He's going to go right. So these guys are basically all right here. I'm going to throw him up into first class here. Perfect. Then I'm going to look at these other 2 and decide on them. This guy, and I'm looking at a couple different icons. This guy wants to stay 2 full weeks at the hotel. Okay, but he could block a hotel for me. She wants to stay 2 weeks, but she's requesting the bunk beds, the double room, so she can be paired with somebody else if I had somebody else. Unfortunately, nobody else wants the double room, so that's not going to help me much. This lady is staying 3 full weeks. She's definitely going to block a hotel room for a while. I have 4 rooms, but still. So I'm going to take these 2. So these guys slide up into my airplane. Now, you've got to fly your plane. So I fly, if you're moving more than 1 spot, I can move 1 spot, it doesn't cost me anything. But if I wanted to get to, say, over here to San Francisco, maybe I'd started here, I want to get to San Francisco, I'd have to pay an extra fuel to get past this area. But before I do that, before I can move at all, I have to roll the dice. And you roll all 5 dice. There are a number of different symbols on here. There are planes, that's jet fuel. Great, I take a fuel token for that. There are clean bed tokens, fantastic. This will allow me to clean a room. I can take a token for that one. There are, and you're not going to be able to see that one. What is that? The yellow, yeah, good luck.
It's cleaning your seats.
Is cleaning the seats on the plane. So I take a clean seat token. There are people. That's an employee. I can take a couple cards off the employee deck and choose which one I want. You've got space for a couple of employees. You have a space here for a pilot or an airline employee. You have a space here for
counter clerk.
the counter clerk, and you have a space here for the hotel worker.
No, this is the hotel worker. This is where your resource
That's
tokens
right.
go.
That's where the resources go. And then you have these coupons. So you take a coupon. The coupons are to give to your passengers who are left waiting, so you don't make them mad.
Yeah,
so they stay happy.
They have what they are, and you put a token on where they
Yes,
start, and then move it.
They get angry if they have to wait too long. And that loses you points. And then you get this question mark. The question mark will let you do anything. You can just pick which one you want. So here's the trick. You start off with everything clean. You start off with a couple of free tokens. But after that, everything's dependent on a dice roll. You get to Rio. You put everybody into the hotel rooms that they want to stay in. You mark how many weeks they're staying, because they're blocking rooms for that many weeks. And then you count your points. Mm-hmm. Each one of these guys wanted nightlife. I gave them nightlife. Rio says I get 5 points per nightlife. Fantastic. I move my marker up to the 15 on here. And that's the end of my turn. At the end of the round, you clear off anybody who's only staying for 1 week. You move the symbol down for anybody staying longer than that. Now I only pull 4 passengers because I've only got room for 3 over here. And I lay them out and then decide who's going on the trip, and you keep doing this. As you are filling cities, though, so I just went to Rio, this turns over.
Yep.
Whatever city my opponent went to turns over. Now this is all that's left. So on my next group, I've got to figure out where I want to go. If I want to get down here to Paris, that's going to cost me a bunch of fuel. But when I get to Paris, I flip it over after I've scored it.
Yeah, and these still cost fuel to go over.
They still cost fuel to move over, yes, absolutely. So the game ends when there's only a couple left open. Well, I think when 2 are left open, or I guess it's probably based on player count, but the game ends and whoever's got the most points wins.
This one with the passengers, you draw your cards and you take 2 and then you pass the other ones over to your neighbor and they send you some back.
Oh, that's right. It is a drafting, isn't it?
Yes.
I had forgotten that part.
It's kind of the 7 Wonders draft.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. You start with some, you decide which 2 you want.
And then you
pass
the rest
over.
on. So you may get, like I did with 4 people who wanted nightlife, but that's may not what you get, be what you get to keep. Oh, city cards. We got this because I was a travel agent in a former life type of thing.
Yeah,
feels that way
like
now. But I wanted to like it for that reason. Mm-hmm. And it's okay, but it's just not exciting. So, not for us anyway. So yeah, I'm going to pass this on. I think it's almost too light for us. Mm-hmm. So we're going to pass this on. I'm hoping it can see some love. I think it's a great little game.
Yeah, it's a fun game. It don't come off the shelf.
It doesn't. It's one of those that you have hard time getting the tokens you need.
Mm-hmm. It's a luck game too, because you have to roll the dice for it.
Right. Like you can put somebody into a dirty airline seat. They're not happy about it. You lose a point for doing so, but you can do it. You can't put anybody into a dirty hotel room.
Right, yeah, and if you get people to your hotel and there's no rooms, you lose them.
You don't have any clean rooms, you lose them and you lose points. Mm-hmm. So it's hard sometimes getting those tokens you need. Like last game, I had tons of jet fuel, but I could not get clean seats.
Yeah, that's why looking at the passengers, or travelers, I guess they call them.
Travelers, yeah.
Seeing how long they're going to stay is another good thing. Okay, these are all 1 weeks. I'm going to use that because that way somebody's not using up a room that...
For 2 weeks,
the travelers you get in next
have no
may
room to
need
go
that
to.
room, and there's no way to give them that room. So
anyway, we're going to let that one go. It's just not... It's just too light for us, I think. Mm-hmm. So, all right.
So let's get one that's not light.
No.
This is Trajan with an upside-down box lid.
Seems to be a theme.
Huh?
Seems to be a theme.
Seems like somebody's putting the boxes on.
Somebody's not looking at them when they put them on. Okay. This one, yeah. Okay, where do I start?
This is a Mancala game.
Yes.
Or a Mancala action movement game,
Yes.
basically.
Yes, and what you do depends on where you stop on the Mancala. All right, so now the board
Is big.
I'm just going to put that over there. So you've got player boards, first of all. These are your player boards.
This is your Mancala.
That's your player board. I'm trying to make sure which way is right side up. Okay, so how this runs. You start off the game with a whole bunch of colored discs, and the colors come into play in a minute. But you randomly put 2 discs in each one of these. The board itself has tokens all over it. You've got yellow tokens, you've got green tokens, you've got these bonus action tokens, you've got ships and ship cards, you get +2 tokens, you've got building tokens, there's lots of tokens. So you've got all these tokens spread across the board. So you've got tokens up here that you get when you travel to different areas. You've got tokens here when you go into the building trades. You've got tokens here for the
Senate, I think it is.
I think
Or
so.
no, where's this? This is the Senate. That is, I don't remember.
I don't remember. That's okay. The names are not important. The main goal of this game, you're trying to get these actions done by moving pieces on here. When you're trying to decide what you're doing, you are taking all of the pieces that are in one spot here. Now you start the game with 3 of these tokens sitting around here, and you put them out in 2, 4, and 6, I think.
Yeah.
And these are essentially goals you're trying to make, you're trying to match up
Yeah.
by getting these colors into this spot. So this piece here is telling me that if I get a yellow and a pink into this spot using the Mancala actions, I get to take that action for free. It's just a bonus action. So what happens? You are picking up all of the little pieces in any one spot around the board, and you're moving them, dropping 1 in each location, kind of like Five Tribes, Mancala, like Mancala. So you're dropping 1 in each location till you get to the very last piece, and you can choose which color goes where. Absolutely, there's a serious strategy in that to try to get these built. So you're dropping, maybe I started here, I'm picking up from here. I drop the yellow here so that I can start working on this, and then I drop the orange here. Well, this little helmet symbol tells me I get to go up here into this area and start moving people around. I can move my big explorer, my big chieftain.
From the starting circle.
From the starting circle into one of the borderlands and pick up the tile that's there. Those tiles can be any number of things. They can be tokens that I'm putting down here in order to get bonus actions later. They can be pieces I need here to satisfy the demands. Yes, to satisfy the demands. They can be just miscellaneous wild tokens. They can, well, they're not going to be building tokens.
They can be Senate.
They can be Senate votes.
Senate votes that get you more votes for.
Right.
There.
Yes. So now here is the trick to this game, though. Everybody takes their turn moving, but as you're moving, you only start with 2 in each one. But as you start moving stuff around, you're going to start getting a collection of stuff in whatever you're not using. So maybe the Senate votes don't matter much to me, and I end up with like 6 of them down here at one point. Well, then when I go to move that, well,
you're going to be back to the Senate vote.
What happens is that every time I pick up a stack, let's move these over so you can actually see the board. Every time I pick up a stack of tokens, there's a disc down here that moves based on how many tokens I picked up. If I picked up 2 tokens, this is going to move twice. If I pick up 4 tokens, this is going to move 4 times. Every time it gets back here to this arrow, one of these comes out. You basically pass this arrow, and this basically tells me that by the end of the round, I have to have one of these tokens with this on it in order to satisfy that need.
Oh, yeah.
Otherwise, I lose points. So you don't want to do that. But by the time you get to the 4th one, 3 demand tokens are out, so you know exactly what's demanded. You go around the loop one more time till you get there for the 4th time, and now that ends the round. You stop immediately. You stop right after that turn. You do the demand. You do your Senate stuff. You settle out who's got the most Senate votes, whether it be from vote tokens that somebody picked up off of these or by literally doing the Senate action and going up on the board. So you do that, and then you start back up with the next person in line, and you keep going. You do that 4 rounds, 4 times, 4 years, basically. And at the end of 4 years, whoever has the most points wins.
Yep.
It is tricky to get people out there because you do certain actions, you can actually put people out there, but other actions, you can actually start moving them around.
Yeah, because there's the 2 spots that you do that at.
The building trades and up
out,
here in the
out there
travel stuff.
Basically the war.
The war, yeah, that's a good way to put
the
it.
The front or whatever, and then, the building.
The building trades. There are cards that you can pick up for set collections in order to ship off, again, to get points. There's 3 different ships that sit out here, and then after the first person uses one, it flips over until the end of the round, and then it flips back. But there's all sorts of cards that you're trying to either get 3 of one kind, or 3 different, or 4 of one kind, or 4 different. And how many points you get is based on how many you have. So if I have 3 of one kind, I might go ahead and ship it on this one and get 7 points for it. And then I would flip this over, or nope, I would get 12 points for it. I'd flip it over. The next person to do it this round only gets 7. There's a lot going on in this game. I had forgotten, I knew I liked the game. I had forgotten how good it was.
Yeah, because up here, if your main guy gets there, they get the token.
Yeah.
But then you have to get a soldier, or they call them something else. I can't remember what they were. Then you would get the points, and they would have to stay there.
Yes.
Or what was the other one I was getting ready to say? Oh, the Senate at the end of the round, the person first gets to pick one of the little in-game rewards.
Yep.
And they keep it on the yellow side. Second place gets it, but they have to turn it over, so it's less points.
And if you're playing a multiplayer game, 3rd and 4th don't get anything.
Yeah.
So getting up that Senate board is important. That's end game points. So I really like it. We've only ever played it 2-player.
Yeah, it does that too with the ships, like you said.
Yeah.
Once one person's done it, it flips over and it's less points. So it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I like it. It rewards you for being the first to do stuff, for focusing on one avenue.
And of course, it's a feld, so you know it's not going anywhere.
No. Yeah, that's true. Anyway, that is Trajan. As we said, definitely sticking around. Very crunchy feld. Not the crunchiest. We've run into some crunchier, but very crunchy feld. All right.
Next, we have a very, very hard game. Very strategic.
Yeah.
This is an upside-down box with Trailer Park Wars.
This is... The goal of this game is to decorate your park with the flamingos and to have the most at the end of the game when the flamingo pile runs out. You literally play till 100 flamingos are gone. And then you count whoever has the most flamingos wins the game. So you start the game out with trailers. You literally deal out this entire deck of trailer cards to no matter how many players are playing. And I want to say this plays, 6? So you deal out all of your trailers to everybody. They arrange their trailers in a circle or an oval, whatever. And then they name their park. And when you name your park, you take 3 different tiles.
There's a 1, a 2, and a 3.
They are labeled 1, 2, and 3. So for
Let's
example,
see what we get here.
Well, what's the top one on the pile?
It's a blank. That's why I wanted to get one.
Okay.
Because you could have a blank. You
could.
only have 2. So we have Redneck. That's just going.
Redneck Leisure
Villas.
Villas.
That's the name of your trailer park. Or it could have been Leisure Land.
Redneck Leisure Land.
Estates. Gulch. There you go. Redneck Leisure Gulch.
Okay.
Or Holler. There you go. Holler.
Buena Vista Leisure Holler. Yeah.
Corral. World.
Some of the names are hysterical. And it's all potluck as to what you get. It's all random. But they're funny.
The whole game is meant to be just a big joke.
Yes, agreed. Okay, so you've got your trailer park. You've got your trailers. You've built your park. You've named your park. Now you are drawing cards to get people into the trailers. It goes this way.
Oh.
You're trying to fit a circle into a square.
There it goes.
Anyway, so now you're drawing so many cards up at the end of every round, and you're trying to get some people and activities into your trailer park. Each one shows a number of flamingos up on the amenities show a number of flamingos that you take right away, or that you take every round so long as this amenity survives. Each of the people show flamingos up in the corner that you get every round as well.
Or they can show you black flamingos.
They show you black flamingos, and those you lose. They basically negative, like these college students. They just party too darn hard, discards and prevents any vice amenities. Oh, wow. The vice amenities. It takes out the vice agent.
Yep.
That's not good.
Then it also has a title at the bottom of what they might be. Some of them do, some of them don't.
Yeah, like this is a service agent.
This is the Heavy Metal Rockers Band and Druggy. It's the Ned Tugent band.
Oh, Lordy.
You do get the reference, right? It's not... Okay.
Yeah.
Becomes -2 if neighbors on one or both sides are old or
Another band.
So
you can't put two bands next to each other or you lose points. Well, you lose a point with them anyway.
But the red at the bottom is going to be on other cards. So
Yes.
you're looking at other cards like, oh, that guy's not going to go good with that guy.
Right. Like this is a service tenant. He might come in handy with something else that might happen. There are also natural disasters that you can play on other people's parks, like this natural disaster, Dadgum Sinkhole.
Dabgun sinkhole.
Dadgum Sinkhole. Play on any trailer.
Slurp.
Trailer is discarded. Card player rehomes the tenants. Discard the tenants if no vacancies. So if you have a tenant on the trailer that just got destroyed, you can take and rehome him to someplace else so you don't lose that tenant.
This is the Flash Flood. It's a frog choker out there.
Oh my goodness.
Play on another park to float a trailer and one amenity away to the discard pile. Card player rehomes tenants, if any. But you also have bad things you can play on other people
Yeah, you have
too.
you
Like
have the natural disasters, but you also have just bad cards in general.
Jello in the water feature.
Oh Lord.
Destroys of one water feature, or the fixer upper. One manager's trashes another manager's trailer. Tip off the cops. Dude, you're busted. An anonymous caller causes a raid on the trailer. Cops destroy the trailer looking for contraband. Tenants go to jail, discard the trailer and the tenants.
Oh no.
I think I had that one and I almost played it on you too.
Well, my former cop. Because I had a former
Oh,
cop
that would
in
have been
my
perfect to
neck.
play on that
Been,
trailer.
right? Anyway, it's a cute game. We've played it a couple times now over the last several years. It's good for a laugh.
That's about it. I mean,
But yeah, we're going to let it go.
I mean, it's not really politically
No,
correct,
it is
really.
not. It is not. It's fun to laugh at for a minute.
Yeah, and there's a series of these because we
There
also
is.
played.
Oh, no, you don't.
I know you don't, and something redneck something. I thought it was on the back someplace, wasn't it?
It's on the back of the rule book.
The back of the rule book.
It is Redneck Life. And then there's also one called
Oh, Flea Marketeers.
Flea Marketeers and Cheap
Cheap
Shot.
Shot.
And we haven't played those two. But regardless, Trailer Park Wars is going to leave the collection.
Yep.
Fun little laugh, but I think we've played it out. Mm-hmm. Yep. All right.
So now we have.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is a box day, isn't it? This is Topple.
This box is way too big. This is all that's in it. It could have been half that. This actually has a little more strategy than I thought it would when we first pulled it out. So, there we go. There's your board. I don't like the fact that it leans already. Anyway, there is a 6-sided dice in here. And that 6-sided dice tells you where you are putting your piece, or at least what row you're going to put your piece into. So if you see this board, and I don't know if it's going to be visible, there's all sorts of numbers on here. And that determines the row. So you've got 2, what is it? Nope, let me redo that. 2s are up here, 1 is in the center, 2s, 3s, 4s are these edges, and then 5s are the singles
Or
on
the
the very
corners.
corners. And then if you roll a 6, you get to choose where you put it. So you're rolling the dice. Oop, that's a 4. And you're putting your piece into one of the spaces on that level. So I'm going to put my piece on this 4. I'm going to turn this so you can actually see the pieces, though. I'm going to put my piece into one space on that level. And then my opponent rolls the die, and he does the same thing. So he's going to put his piece also on a 4. So he's going to go over here on this 4. You are scoring points when you completely fill in a row or column, diagonally, vertically, or horizontally. So if I can manage to get all of these pieces filled in without making this thing topple, and I probably chose the wrong side of the board to do this on, but you get the idea. If I can get all those filled, that's points. You get, I think it was 3 points for filling the row, plus 1 point for every one of your tops that is visible. Because it's entirely possible that this could have been the situation. I still get points. I just don't get a point for his piece. I still get points for filling the row. I still get points for all of my pieces that are visible. Now, mind you, once all the pieces are filled, maybe he rolled a 4 again, and he comes over and he goes, I'm going to do that because this row's already filled. Now I get the points for at least having all my pieces visible on a filled row. If you roll a 1, you just keep stacking them up here. They just keep going on top of each other. And you play until somebody causes one piece to fall off the board. Once one piece falls off the board, the game is over, and whoever has the most points wins. It was more interesting than I expected it to be. I expected it to be something similar to Don't Rock the Boat, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it actually had a little bit of strategy as to, okay, I have to lay on a 4. Which 4 am I laying on to? And where am I going to be able to score the most points by laying on to a 4? That being said, we're still going to let it go. It's not something that will ever come off the shelf for us. This was one of the ones in the travel collection. If we were not dissolving that collection, I don't know. I'm not sure I would.
I don't know if I'd hang on to
I
it
don't know if
either.
I'd hold on to it either. One, the size of the box is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But
But it attracts kids.
It does. It does attract kids.
When
But
did this come out?
like 70s?
This says 92.
92, okay. I'll bet you that's a
Yeah,
reprint.
that picture's definitely
That-
92.
Yeah, okay, that's true. All right. Anyway, we are going to let this one go. Yeah, done. But it was more interesting than I expected. All right.
Now we have Trailblazers, the John Muir Trail. Jeez.
This one is not to be confused with the Trailblazer we already talked about.
Yeah.
Because, it
You're
has
not
an
building
S.
the trail, you're
No,
hiking the
you're
trail.
hiking the trail. So the whole goal of this one is to get, the whole point of this one is to get down the trail. I'm going to show some pictures of the board because it is literally buried on the
I
bottom.
actually have a rubber band on this.
Yeah, don't ask me why. I think the last time we played it, we were over at Doug and Mary's, so I didn't have my Hugos with me. That needs to be repacked with Hugos.
Yes.
I don't know why it has a rubber
Are
band
you
on it.
unpacking this whole thing?
No, I'm not.
Okay, let's show pictures.
Okay, I'm going to show some pictures. The only thing I am going to pull out is that. The goal of the game is to get down the John Muir Trail. This game plays in 12 days. Every day there is a weather token that comes out that dictates how hard it's going to be to hike that day. And there is a whole stack of those tokens in here. So not all of them are ever going to come out in the same game. On the board, there are a number of worker placement spots. And you've got little discs that are your workers. That is not a worker stack. They are right here. You've got little discs that are your workers. And those discs determine, and you start, I think, with 3, and you can get 2 more throughout the game. 3 or 4. But you put, let's turn them over so you can actually see the boots. There we go. You put your workers out to do various things. You can gain resources, both natural resources and synthetic resources, basically bottled water,
Yes.
health, first aid stuff, things like that you will need in order to hike.
But you got to get so far to hike.
You've got to
you
get
can
on to
those,
day
'cause
4
those-
before you can even get
Yeah,
those.
because those are at
You
a
get
trading
'em at the
post
lodge.
along the trail.
Yep. There is a spot where you can go and basically pick up some of these scenic cards, and they give you spend resources for them, but they give you a set collection aspect at the end of the game. There are spots where you can go and pick up these types of cards, and at the beginning of the round, at the beginning of every round, you're going to play one of these cards out for what it does. These give you items into your backpack, which you may need for these. Make sure I'm holding that right side up for these. So, oh, that was actually perfect. This one gives me a fishing rod, as well as a natural water and some sleep. Over here, in order to pick up this card, I have to have a fishing rod in my backpack. So if I plan to pick this up this round, I might want to play this one to get the fishing rod I need into my backpack. And everybody has this whole stack of little hexagon pieces that go onto their player boards, and the player board depicts a backpack. So I would trying to get these little pieces into my backpack. The more pieces you can get in here, you get bonuses as you fill your backpack up, but that gives you more variability and more options when you're trying to pick these up. This is also where you're keeping all of your other resources and getting some other collection items. So like the first time I pick up one of, like this is Vernal Falls. When I pick up the falls symbol, I get to do this action, but only the first time I do it. And then so you're trying to get all 4 of the different types of scenery so that you can get all of your bonus actions. So you're placing out your workers to do that, but one of the worker spots is to hike the trails. And when you go to hike the trails, everybody has a different trail book. And make sure I'm on, oh, that's on 10. Everybody has a different trail book. Starting with the first day of the hike, there are 10 pieces to this trail. You can only hike once per day. So the game plays in 12 days. So you have to hike at least 10 times. Because if you don't get to the end of the trail,
you don't have a chance
can't
to
win.
Yeah, you can't win at all.
Doesn't matter if you've got more points than everybody else. You didn't finish the trail, therefore you cannot win.
Yeah, because if game ends and you're not on the last one, you go back to 0. No matter how many points you had, you go all the way back to 0.
You cannot win. Yep. So each trail book is slightly different. So like this is trail 1 here. The trails are all the same. I mean, the trail doesn't change, but what your personal needs are to hike that day do. So this guy, the green, well, they're all green. This player needs fire in order to hike. This guy needs, it looks like wind to hike. He needs to spend a wind token. This guy needs a forest token just to hike. And this one needs, nope, that's a red one. We don't want the hard, well, and that's another thing. They give you 2 different sets of books. So you've got your basic book and you've got your more complex book. So once the game gets a little too easy for you, switch to the harder book. And this guy needs water. So you would pay that, and then in order to hike, flip the card over to the next one, because now you're going to be moving on to day 2, and everybody's day 2s, are different. So you keep just going, oh, this guy needs 2 things on day 2. Some people only need 1, some need 2. The books are all very balanced. I may need 2 on day 2, but I only need 1 on day 5 when somebody else needs 2. So it all does balance out. This is a really neat aspect of the game. I love how they made that different.
Yeah.
And they're not coded to a specific color. So even if you have your special color you like to play, the books are random.
Yes.
So you're not going to get stuck with the exact same book every time just because you like a specific color of player pieces. I really like this game. I love this game. There's a lot more to it.
Yeah, because there's a lot of set collecting with animal cards, like you said.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about the animal cards along the bottom. But yeah, there's a whole
the set collecting and this,
fauna and flora cards.
Yeah, in the pictures. And the cool thing is the way this is broke down, there's spots on the trail as to when you get somebody gets to that spot, one set of cards goes away and the new sets of cards. And the reason they do that is to represent everything in this area of cards is on that part of the trail. So the trail is broken up into different colors.
And everybody usually stays pretty close together.
Yeah.
Nobody gets too far behind because you've only got 12 days to do the hike in. So you have to keep up with everybody.
Yeah, and the reason they give you 12 days is because some of these weather tokens could come out and
they
like,
make it more harder.
well, that one doesn't have it, but
Well,
some of them might have another thing on the token itself for the
Yeah.
day, and now you've got to pay that extra thing when you do.
Yes.
Like this one, it's going to take an
It's
extra
super
water
hot
to
that
do
day.
anything.
So, and you may not have the resources because
Right.
all of the worker spots are limited except for the hiking. Everybody can go to hiking. You have your own spot on that hiking trail.
Yeah.
But
And
all the
there's-
other resources,
Well, there's some that more than one can go
yes,
to.
like the water, I think 3 people can go
Yeah.
there in a 4-player game.
Yeah.
But in a 2-player game, only 1 person gets to go there. Mm-hmm. So it's always 1 less than the number of players. So somebody isn't going to get water that round. So yeah, I like it. So but that's why they give you the extra days, I feel like,
Right,
is because you may not get the resources you need. So, okay, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
day behind. I'll catch up tomorrow when everybody else can't get what I'm getting this round.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, yep, John Muir Trail. I would love to say I've actually hiked this. I would love to hike this someday. I think those days are past me though. But
Yeah.
at least that kind of strenuous hiking is definitely past me. But man, 20 years ago, I would have loved to have done something like this.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. Anyway, John Muir Trail, sticking around.
Last we have, oh God,
That was a heavy game.
Trailblazers,
Arizona,
Arizona
Trail.
Trail.
We liked John Muir so much, we bought this one.
And now
this
your
one,
mom lives in Arizona.
yes. Well, and she moved to Arizona right about the time this went on Kickstarter. Mm-hmm. So we thought, oh, that's perfect. So we picked it up. So this one hikes the Arizona Trail. I believe 800 miles is what I read somewhere. I didn't even look to see if it was on right. Did we get one on right? Hey, we got one on right. How about
I
that?
put this game up.
Oh, okay. All right, so this one was the other one was not a Kickstarter for us. We bought it secondhand. This one was a Kickstarter, so it's got all the deluxe little bits and pieces and whatnot. So we also have a play mat with this one, but I'm not going to dig that out because, I love me a good play mat. This is your board. The board is very busy on this guy. And
Kind of, like I said, color of the
it does,
10th anniversary or whatever it was of.
but at least these colors are prettier. They're not so shocking.
No,
It's nice and pastel and muted, and they make
but it's
sense.
extremely busy.
But it's busy. So this one, there's a lot going on this game.
Yeah, a whole lot.
You play the game in 8 days.
Mm-hmm.
And each day represents a different section of, or 100 miles of the trail.
Mm-hmm.
Again, you've got your cards out that
Your landscape cards.
your
or whatever you wanna
landscape
call it,
cards
scenery
right here.
Cards, yeah.
Yep. You've got your cards out, and they're all different depending on the area of the trail you're on. But you can pick these up if you have certain things in your possession. And then some of them you just have to have, some of them you have to give up. And then you get other things for doing so.
Mm-hmm.
So with this one, this determines play order. Play order is determined by grabbing a spot and paying the resources. You have no choice. You have to do this every round. You only start with 3 turns per action. Eventually, when you get up the elevation track high enough, you'll get a 4th action. We never got there on the game we played, at least
No,
not
we
this
didn't.
last game.
All the way up to here, you get your other.
So on your turn, there's a number of different places you can go. Over here is all of the fauna. Over here is all of the floral cards and polyomino pieces. When you go here, you have to pay so much turquoise based on where you're going to go. As the game progresses, the cards from the bottom slide up. The polyomino pieces never do. They are literally separated into 2, 3, 4, or 5 space polyomino pieces. Polyomino pieces go into this center section of your board right here. And there are, I do like this, there are all these extra pieces here that can slide in and make them asymmetric. But to start with, all the boards are
The same.
the same. So you're gaining polyomino pieces and cards over here for flora. Over here, you're gaining fauna. You're gaining the animals. And again, animal cards, animal polyominoes. And all of the polyominoes are marked. They have to be put in a specific way. You can't, like most polyominoes, you can't turn them however you want. They've got to be put in a specific way. Because, plants can grow from the roots, not from the top type of thing. And animals don't walk on their heads.
Nope.
So you put them in. As you cover up certain things, you get those bonuses. You keep track of all your resources over here. You've got your turquoise, your coal, and your silver, or copper, I'm sorry. It's turquoise, copper, and silver. Each copper is worth 2 turquoise. Each silver is worth 3 turquoise. Everything on the board is priced out in turquoise. So if I wanted to buy this 3 turquoise polyomino over here, I could just pay 1 silver if that's what I had, because it's worth 3 turquoise. Down here, you're moving at the start of each round in order to, you've got a little piece over here, in order just to gain a bonus. Over here, you're keeping track of how many of these types of cards you've got, whether of the different landscapes you've got, and as you're progressing up each of these tracks, you're gaining those bonuses. Worker spots over here to take the cards and the polyominoes, same as over there.
And up here to take the...
Up here, yep, worker spots up here to take the scenery cards. There's different challenges here in the middle that you're trying to meet on the 1st, 4th, and 8th rounds of the game. You're going up this elevation track every time you take a polyomino and put it into your board. So this is one aspect you cannot ignore.
No.
You have to do this.
Because you need to get up this track.
Because, yeah, that track is just chock full of bonuses. Never mind all the bonuses you're going to get over here. In order to get your 4th person, you've got to go up the track. In order to get the weather cards, you've got to go up the track. The weather cards affect everybody. One person gets there, you pull 2, you pick 1, everybody's affected by it.
You have the beginning of the day cards?
Oh, the beginning of the day cards. Everybody gets whatever's shown here. But then there's also a worker spot here that if you need more of those, you see what's coming the next day.
Yeah, you play the one, everybody gets that card,
Yeah.
and then a new one comes out for the next day so you can see. But if somebody goes to that, they get what's coming the next day already. Yeah.
But they
Plus
still
they'll get it the next day.
They still get it the next day.
If they need extra
So,
resources.
The biggest piece with this game, and I don't know if this was one of the biggest complaints about the game, is the scoring aspect. This has 2 score tracks. This scores very similar to Arc Nova, if you're familiar with that one. You've got your gold track. Great. You're counting up 1 all the way around. Then you've got your grit track, your Arizona grit. The grit counts every time you see the black G's here. You move down on the grit scale. Your score is when the 2 pass. This doesn't trigger the end of the game. The game is still triggered by 8 days, period. But it is entirely possible. In fact, both games I've played now, I've ended up with negative points because my 2 paths don't cross. You actually ended up with positive.
I got positive
like
this
7
time.
or 8 or something
Yeah,
like that.
something
It was
like that.
really pathetic score, but at least it was
Well, there's not a
positive.
lot of play. Well, I mean, down here, there's a lot of grit.
Yeah.
This also has extra cards that you can change this board
Yes.
up. You can get grit down here at the first action of the first round, and then there's grit over here. And I think some of these cards
Some
have
of the cards
grit on
had
it.
grit on them, yeah. And the higher you got, the more grit you got off of them. There were some that gave like 2 or 3
And
grit.
the grit spaces, like right here,
They
this
space
is
out.
2, and then now it's every 3, and then over here it's every 4. So
And then you
it
get
gets
to the top, it's
easier
just
to get
single.
around. But
Yeah. You also have this spot here, the Gila monster. A little bit of take that maybe. More blocking, I guess. But whoever is in last gets the Gila monster and can put it onto one of 5 spaces. You can put it onto any one of the flora cards, any of the stacks of flora polyominoes. Over here in your passage cards, the fauna or fauna cards or fauna polyominoes. And wherever you put it, that card is blocked. Nobody can take it that round. It stays there. Additionally, any other thing in that row costs 1 health to the person who took it. So if Greg really wanted this card up here and he goes ahead and takes it, he's got to pay a health.
But
off
if I
of
don't
his
have
board.
any health, I can't take the
Then he
card.
can't take the card. Next round, again, whoever's in last place takes it and moves and gets to move it around.
Then there's also the
Cactus, the saguaro.
saguaro.
The
Yeah.
saguaro cactus.
And that's
that one,
whoever's behind
no,
on this
whoever's
track.
whoever's behind on this track gets it. And then every time somebody buys a card with a star on it, because some of these cards have stars on them up in the corners. Of course, it's not going to be any of these tree cards. Not one of those flora cards had a star on it. But some of the cards have stars up in the corners. And when a star card is bought, doesn't matter if you buy it or somebody else does, then you get a point. Whoever has the saguaro cactus gets a point. Okay. I like the game.
Yeah.
But man, it's tough.
I think
had
I
a really
enjoyed it more
hard
this
time
time
with
than
it.
the first time. we
You
played
got a
it.
positive
I
score
got a
on
positive
it.
score. I had a thing going.
Yeah, I had a rough time with this one. I could not get resources. Resources are very hard to get in this one in some aspects.
Well, that bottom corner board where you're putting down, where you're putting your marker to take that resource for the day,
Your movement is limited.
is really tough because you're either going counterclockwise or clockwise in the area you're at, or you can move to another one, but you got to move to the same spot on that one than you were. You can't just like, well, I'm going to go to this one over here. No, you'd have to go to this one. And start again over there.
Your movement is, there's very strict movement rules.
Yeah, basically you got to plan 2 moves ahead as to like, okay, I need that, and then after that I'm going to go to there. It'll set me up to go here.
I tried that, couldn't make it work for me. But resources are hard to get. Money is hard to get, and without money, the only thing you can do is the passage cards. So I had a really tough time.
Yeah, I know you had.
I had a tough time with
back
it.
there a little bit.
But I still like the game.
Yes.
I think it's a beautiful game. Very busy, but beautiful. We're going to hold on to it, though. I want to play it some more. I feel like this is going to be one of those games you've got to play several times to get the finesse down of it, to get a strategy built for it. So, but that's it. That's all we got this episode.
20 more to go.
Yeah. No. We have 3 more T's. Probably 1 U. Maybe a couple V's. Probably 4 W's.
And then 1 XYZ.
No, we've actually got like 20 Y's. We got a few. Okay, so we might have 20 episodes total left.
That's what I meant. 20 more to go.
Whatever. Anyway.
Until then, thanks for watching.